Bates and Callum Barnes. That's the way the grid is going to line up. The red light is on. And 15 minutes of racing get underway then, and it's Danny Andrew that makes a reasonable start. Jonathan List from the second row of the grid gets away quite nicely as well. Ben Powney needs to make progress from row 3 here. This grid set by second fastest qualifying times, so he needs to make some progress up the order if he's going to take the championship fight to Danny Andrew in this final round of the season. So they head through Rich's corner for the first time, up towards the Wilson hairpin. It's Danny Andrew on the inside line, and it was... just trying to see.
Liceta.
It is Liceta on the outside line there as they turn their way through Wilson hairpin. Yes, it's David Mason, I think, a bit further back.
3 points is what separates Danny Andrew and Ben Powney coming into this race. So Powney needs to win it with fastest lap, really, to beat Andrew here, but he's got cars to pass first, and we know that Danny Andrew is rapid around this track, but he has lost the lead because Jonathan Liceta, who was involved in the accident in the earlier race, takes the lead. He's been a winner in low-cost racing here in the past, and they turn their way round the Agostini hairpin. It's Liceta from Andrew, and it's side-by-side for third place because Ben Powney is trying to gain another one. He started 6th. This has been a good first lap, but he hasn't quite made it. He can't find a way past Daniel Sibbons, who, of course, beat him right at the line in the previous race, so he doesn't want that to happen again. So he's right behind as they turn their way up towards Williams. But Jonathan Liceta doing great stuff here, Ian, as the race leader. He only started 4th.
Yep, and he's been a winner in low cost here a couple of years ago, hasn't he, Jonathan Liceta? In very different conditions, this streaming wet. There's the 69 car, which is Thomas Bates, just ahead of 44 Barry Stewart. But it's 71, Jonathan Liceta leading the way down the Bentley Straight. But Danny Andrew dives out of the slipstream, goes to the outside line for Brundle. And he can't make anything of that move at the moment. So Daniel Sibbins there in 3rd, David Mason 4th, Ben Powney in 5th position.
He's lost a place instead of gaining one.
That's not really what he's supposed to be doing. And they head their way down towards Curran for the first time here. I think this is going to be an uphill struggle for Ben Powney from this position. Danny Andrew, meanwhile, he doesn't need to win this race. He could sit second behind Jonathan Liceta quite happily here and still gather enough points to wrap up the championship here in the final round. But I'm sure he'll want to go out with a win. He sort of had that demeanour of someone who was just focused on winning the race, and if he does say the championship will come, he's going to have a go for the lead here. He dives out of the slipstream of Jonathan Liceta and is already ahead, I think. Yes, he is, as they head into Rich's corner. But Sibbins there's got a double toe. He goes through to second place on the inside of Liceta as well. So Liceta from 1st to 3rd in the space of about 100 yards.
That's all worked nicely for Andrew because they're all battling behind him, which means he's getting away. And David Mason comes around the outside of both of them. He passes Liceta. He was going to pass Sibbins, but he braked too late and Liceta's back past him. So David Mason's 4th on the grass, trying to come back at Liceta, but Danny Andrew up front is getting away here with all that going on. So through Palmer they turn and they accelerate their way. 6 leading cars with David Winter at the back of the queue. They were separated by just over a second at the end of lap 1 of what should be a 7-lap race, and they turn their way then through the hairpin with Danny Andrew leading Daniel Sibbins, Jonathan Liceta, David Mason, Ben Powney, and then David Winter finally at the back of the 6.
If it stays this way, Danny Andrew will get his 5th race victory of the season, so he'll be level on wins with Ben Powney, but he's had more second places, 4 to Ben Powney's 2, so that will really be the difference between them this season. Oh, number 3, Callum Barnes has had a little spin, but I think is going to get back into this Yokohama Ma7da race. That's the 35 car at the back of the group. You can see there, David Winter just tucked in behind Ben Powney at the moment. There's a gap back, really, to the car in 7th place, which I think is the 55 of Simon Court, who'd got Martin Fowley just behind him at the start of the lap. And Martin Shelton out there as well, which is good to see in the car with the pink roll cage. You can just see in the background there. That was the car that lost a wheel on the first corner of the opening race earlier on today.
Yeah, lots of work, I imagine, to get that car out. So Andrew's got a good lead for 4th. Ben Powney trying to squeeze up the inside. He's on the grass, he's sideways. That, again, doesn't really help his situation, so he's still down there in 5th position. He's finished on the podium in every race he's finished this year. So it's not really great to have the last race of the season, the championship decide, although you're having, so far, the worst performance really we've seen all season from Ben Powney. So he turns his way onto the centre straight to complete 2 laps of racing with a car of Danny Andrew up front, ahead of Daniel Sibbins, who's having to defend from Liceta, and as they battle, that's going to help Andrew, you'd think, but Liceta up the inside to grab second place. Yes, and Simmons has run wide, so this is allowing David Ma7da to get third. He's trying for second round the outside of Lisetta. Simmons has also dropped behind Powney. For second, it's Lisetta from Ma7da, from Powney, from Simmons, from Winter. Powney might lose a place. Lisetta might lose a place. Down towards the Palmer corner they go. Danny Andrew clear of all of this. And for second on the outside, Lisetta holds on. I think Ben Powney did flop back behind Daniel Simmons in all of that. And he's having to defend from David Winter. Actually coming back on Simmons. It's all action in the Ma7da Championship in that group for second place. Powney has got fourth back eventually, but it is absolutely action-packed race to complete the season this year.
Yeah, so Powney in the number 37 car now ahead of the Daniel Simmons car, isn't it, number 56, as we're watching the scrap for second. For third there, because he's now having a go at David Ma7da up the inside into Oggies, isn't he? And he might just about make that work. Oh, it's going to go 3 wide on the exit of Oggies into Williams, because Simmons, tries to make it 3 wide, realise that's not really a viable possibility, but Ben Powney in the number 37 car does go through, ahead now of number 43, David Ma7da. I should think, though, Danny Andrew, as he looks in his mirror, is actually chuckling a little bit to himself about all of this, because he can see that they've been battling with each other, delaying each other, and that's allowing him to get away a little bit. Having said that now, Jonathan Lisetta in second place has made a break from the next 3, and they've changed around again, because Powney's gone from third back to 5th down the Bentley Straight. But the thing we've got to watch now is, can Lisetta catch Danny Andrew once again with 8.5 minutes to go in this race?
Yeah, we'll see. Andrew's been quick, hasn't he, all weekend, so I suspect that's going to be a difficult task. For third place, though, in decorum, David Ma7da and Daniel Simmons battling over this place, with Powney and Winter right there as well as they head down into Murray's. Powney puts a wheel on the grass, a tire on the grass, gets the car a bit crossed up, but he saved it without too much of a drama. And they stay in the same order, therefore. But Lisetta's not far from Danny Andrew here, is he? They come to the end of 3 laps, almost identical lap times, so the gap's the same, really, between the two of them. Of course, Lisetta did have to gain a place in all of that. For third, Daniel Simmons repasses David Ma7da, so the corner where Simmons lost so many positions a lap ago, this time he gains one for now. Ma7da, is he attacking, is he defending? Maybe a bit of both. Into the Wilson hairpin. He's alongside Daniel Simmons again. So this is absolutely cracking Ma7da racing, Ian, isn't it? It might be a championship decider, but the actual race itself is really good to watch.
It certainly is. So Andrew ahead of Lisetta by 0.8 of a second at the start of the lap, but that might well come down. But for third, fourth, fifth and sixth, it's all happening. Simmons in that position at the moment, Ma7da to the outside of him as they go into Agostini. Powney takes a much tighter line and goes through on the inside of Ma7da there to get 4th place away. So Ma7da down to 5th, Winter there in 6th position, with a long way clear of Martin Farrelly in 7th spot. But this is the fight at the moment for 3rd and 4th positions, isn't it? Daniel Simmons and Ben Powney. Yeah, David Ma7da just behind them. They could do with working together, really, though, couldn't they, to try and catch Jonathan Lisetta again and also racing to Danny Andrew. But I suspect they won't do that, and they'll just be disputing 3rd position between themselves for the rest of the race, which is no use at all to Ben Powney.
Yeah, they've been changing positions enough already. We're into the second half of this race. This is lap 4 of what should be 7, I think, again. Powney on the inside line, stays 4th this time, as they then turn their way. Oh, Daniel Simmons made a mistake here. He's a little bit wide out over the coast, but the lead gap is coming down here. Jonathan Lisetta is catching Danny Andrew for the lead of this race, and Jonathan Lisetta has just taken the 1 win this season, which was back in the wet in May at Donington Park.
Yeah, bit of a wet weather specialist is the reputation that he has, fairly or not. So he's chasing after Danny Andrew here. Meanwhile, David Ma7da's made a bit of a Horlicks of Murray's that time, hasn't he? He was 5th, whether he's still 5th as they head on to the centre straight remains to be seen, because he's now going to be under pressure from David Winter, as Ben Powney is going to get alongside David Simmons. So side by side for 3rd, side by side for 5th as they head into Rich's corner. It's Simmons holding on from Powney, and for 5th, which way does that go? It's Winter that's got through now ahead of Ma7da, so that's changed. And a bit further back, there's been some changes on that lap as well. It's Simon Court up to 7th, Samir Abid 8th, Josh Platts 9th, and Martin Shelton now in 10th place. So that's another good battle that's going on down the order.
So this is lap 5, and Ben Powney still trying to find a way ahead of Daniel Simmons, but it's not working out for him. And David Winter, as you say, up to 5th after that mistake. at Murray's for David Mason, as Powney alongside this time, down into the Agostini hairpin, the inside line for the TSR driver, and he slots through into third position. How long will it last this time? He's been in this position before in this race. And you can see the top two are much further ahead. Fastest lap going the way of Lissetter, a 2:13.14. Battle for third continues, and Simmons brakes really late, gets right onto the back of Ben Powney's car, but just about avoid running into the back of him, which I'm sure will be pleasing for both of them as they turn their way then onto the Bentley straight. You'd think that Simmons is close enough here, Ian, to get the toe on the long run down toward Brundle.
And he's going to pull out of the toe now. He's going to be on the left-hand side of the circuit, which is the inside line for Brundle. He's already through, actually, as they make their way along straight, and almost there's a situation there whereby Powney could try and pick up the toe again. So watch the two leaders now, and Lissetter really putting the pressure on Danny Andrew here. There's Sippens in third place, Powney fourth in the background, Mason back ahead of Winter in fifth and sixth positions. So they're making their way through the bomb hole now. So really, we've got three pairs, haven't we, for the first six positions. A bit further back, it's Simon Court now up into seventh place. As into Murray's comes our race leader, Danny Andrew then. 0.6 of a second was the gap between him and Jonathan Lissetter at the start of the lap as they come up to the line with the driving standards flag being shown to someone. I think that gap's a bit less than 0.6 now. It is 0.26 seconds. It's quite a lot less than that. As Lissetter now does the best lap of the race. He's into the 2-minute 12. It's a 2-minute 12.93. And the only driver on that lap to be below the 2-minute 13 mark. So Lissetter is piling the pressure on now, the race leader, as this is the fight for third place. Sibbons and Powney. Powney getting up the inside of the number 56 car at Wilson, and he's done it, but does he run too wide on the exit of the corner? He just takes a little bit of curb there, not an awful lot. Sibbons, I think, still alongside him, though, as they go down into Palmer's. And it looks like Powney's going to hold on, as Andrew, meanwhile, as he starts working his penultimate lap of the race now, he's still trying to fend off Jonathan Lissetter here, but the gap's gone out a little bit between those two as they make their way into the hairpin. It was 0.26 seconds, just looks to have gone out a little bit now as they work their way around this penultimate lap. And there's the battle for fifth and sixth, David Mason and David Winter, 43 and 35, and they are heading out of Agostini up to Hamilton's once more.
Yes, it's interesting to see how the gaps have developed, isn't it, between these pairs of cars, because they were all in one big group at the start of the race. But now two-car battles, basically, throughout the front part of this. Ben Powney a little wide, maybe, through Williams, but carries the speed through pretty well. Has to use the curb on the exit of the corner, and he's now looks like he's defending. But back for the leader, that pretty close again. Lissetter back with Danny Andrew, has a little peek to the inside, and is he going to challenge? I don't think he is quite, but of course Danny Andrew, he can finish second, but he doesn't want to make a mistake trying to win this race. With one further lap to go, he is ahead as he turns his way then through Coram, trying to win the first ever championship for the Ma7da 7s.
Someone's going to get a 5-second penalty, and it is going to be the 43 car, David Mason, then, who's in fifth position, so that'll be for exceeding track limits. About to see him come into shot now. There he is, he's just behind David Winter again in the 35 car. In actual fact, but the leaders come up and over the line to start the final lap of the race then. The gap's pretty similar, 0.34 seconds, as Andrew, with the pressure on him, did the best lap of the race there, a 2-minute 12.87 now. He has the fastest lap of the race. Sippens has got back ahead of Powney. They were identical lap times as they came across the line that time, but Sippens goes through. And a bit further wide, just out of our country box window, they're going 3 wide further back, which is for 7th, 8th and 9th, Joshua Pratt, Samira Bidd and Simon Court. There we are, you can see that battle going through. In fact, there's 5, is that 5 or 6 of them? 5 of them, I think, all going through riches together now. There's the leader, though. That's Danny Andrew, and he's got half a lap to go.
And he's under the most pressure he's been all race, and Jonathan Lissetter comes up the inside, and he's alongside, he's nosing ahead, he runs a bit deep into the corner. Danny Andrew has to adjust his line, I think, because of it, but Jonathan Lissetter takes the lead then with about half a lap to go. He is in front. Is Andrew going to try and fight back, or is he just going to be happy to finish in second, and importantly ahead of championship rival Ben Powney? They turn their way then into the right-hander at Oggies, and of course we've got more slipstreaming opportunities to come where Danny Andrew has a chance to fight back.
Absolutely right. He's got about 4 car lengths to make up on Jonathan Lissett here, so this is the best opportunity. Pick up the toe down the Bentley Straight. Danny Andrew was saying he's put more focus on the wins than the championship. Indeed, he moves out of the slipstream, goes to the right-hand side of the circuit. He's going to take a very different line into the corner. He's already ahead, though. He's retaken the lead. Number 27, Danny Andrew, back ahead of number 71, Jonathan Lissett. Can Lissett try and find something in the final couple of corners of this race to snatch what would be his second victory of the season right at the end? Danny Andrew will want to go out on the season with a victory, his 5th victory of the year, to go out on a high as champion. They can see Sibbons and Powney 3rd and 4th, so Powney not doing enough for the championship in any case. But it's Andrew heading through the Coram and now through Murray's, leading the way then. Lissett right in behind him. Can he jink out of the toe? And as they go up to the line, I think he might just be a little bit too far back to make that work. The right up against the pit wall, checkered flag waves, and it's going to be Danny Andrew. Yes, he's delighted. You could see him punching the air there. He's won the race. He's won the championship as well for the Yokohama Ma7da 7s. That race victory was won by 0.23 seconds in the end over Jonathan Lissett. A bit of a slower lap from both of them actually on the final lap, perhaps unsurprisingly because they were swapping positions all of the time. Josh, here's this battle coming over the line for 7th place, and I think it was Simon Court, 55, that got it in the end from Samira Bid, Joshua Platts, Martin Shelton and Daniel Courts, and those 5 cars were separated by 1.6 seconds, Josh.
Yeah, Danny Andrew then won the first 2 races of the season and the last 3, so he started well and finished well, where Ben Powney had his 5 wins in a row in the summer months, so perhaps Ben Powney prefers it when it's a bit warmer.
Yeah, maybe if we can have a shorter season next year, sort of maybe June through to August or something like that, that would suit Ben Powney. But that was a fantastic race for the Yokohama Ma7da 7 Championship. Good battles amongst the first 6 places. And he did a great 5-way fight for 7th place, eventually won by Simon Court. We saw not enough of that. We would have seen more had we not had such excitement up at the front of the field as well. Final few cars just go through. Martin Fowley about to come over the line. He's had some mechanical issues. It sounds like the car's perhaps dropped a cylinder or something as he comes over the line. I think it's going to be Callum Barnes in number 3 that rounds out the field in 18th position. Let's see if we can summarise those results for you. Danny Andrew, number 27, the race winner by 0.23 seconds over 71, Jonathan Lissett in 2nd. Danny Andrew thereby winning the championship. 56, Daniel Sibbons 3rd. 37, Ben Powney was 4th. David Winter in 5th place, number 35. 6th to number 43, David Mason. 7th was 55, Simon Court. 8th was 23, Samira Bid. In 9th place, number 20, Joshua Platts. And in 10th place, number 99, that was Martin Shelton. Further back, Daniel Courts, Lewis Pensdale Smith, Colin Marshall, Thomas Bates, Rob Ollie, Barry Stewart, Martin Fowley and Callum Barnes rounding out the finishers. So that was the Yokohama Ma7da 7 season, the first full championship season for the category. Very enjoyable. Look forward to more of that next year. I'm sure we'll get more cars out for next season as well. Just 2 more races left to go here at Snetterton for this weekend, this season indeed, of 750 Motor Club Sprint Championship racing. We've got the Protec Shock Sports Specials Championship coming up next, and then we're going to have the Gas Shocks 116 trophy into the twilight 90-minute race. But we can head down to Parc Fermé now, and Matt Stuckling, who's going to speak with Danny Andrew.
Thanks very much, Ian. Yep, down here with our race winner then from the Ma7da 7s, Danny Andrew, and the champion for this year as well. Danny, well done. You got the job done. How does that feel?
Yeah, good. I knew we had a lot of pace on Friday, although we're nowhere near it today. And Jono was moaning that his car was rubbish all weekend, but we drove away from everyone else and he was just unbelievable. But I guess it was the last lap, so I tried to box a little bit clever and thankfully it paid off.
He played it well there, to be fair. He could have kind of sent one down the inside line, but he knew there was a championship and he knew you were racing, so that you played it well there.
Yeah, we've had our moments this year, but no, that was perfect racing, very clean.
And this year, of course, now it takes you on to, I think, 5 wins, so it's been a solid season, the championship with it as well, so nothing really to complain about, I don't think.
And no, it's always nice to bookend the season, 2 wins at Silverstone, 2 wins at Snet, so it's always good to finish on a couple of wins, but the car's been mint. Yeah, can't fault it.
Danny, well done, and good luck for next year.
Thank you very much.
There we go then, our winner and our champion for the Ma7da 7s this year, Danny Andrew. We look forward to more from them next year as well. Right then, moving quickly on with our next race, which is the Protec Shock Sports Specials. So again, back to Ian and Josh.